Hello, it's Nicola here from A Handcrafted Business, and today I'm joined by the wonderful Hayley Forster of Simply Social. Had to just check my notes then to make sure I said her business name properly because I had a mental blank a few minutes ago. So it's definitely Simple Simple Social. So I knew I'd get it wrong. Terrible. Simple Social. So 2 years ago, Hayley started using Pinterest for her business. She'd been using it personally before that as well. But 2 years ago, she decided to have a business focus on it. And now she gets 40,000 visitors to her website. And those visitors, 98% of them are from Pinterest. So I wanted to pick her brains today and share a few quick tips with you, because she's actually going to be joining me for a full-on hour-long Power Up with Pinterest. I had to check that title as well. My brain really isn't remembering things today. Power Up with Pinterest class on the 17th of July. And if you want to be part of that, then make sure you're in the Creative Business Members Club. I nearly forgot that name as well. Oh my word. Anyway, let's carry on and let's go and talk straight away to Hayley. So, Hayley, come on. Why did you suddenly decide to start using Pinterest for your business? Because to go from 0 to 40,000, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was basically the decision was because I didn't really have any other choice.
Oh.
My last resort. It was my last resort, and that's because I got a professional organising business, so I help people declutter their homes, declutter their lives, and I just really wasn't getting any traction. I was blogging, I was sharing things on my website, I was putting things on Facebook, Instagram, like all the normal places. And I pretty much only got like my dad and my sister reading my stuff, and I was getting so disheartened. And I think there's a lot of people like that are like that at the moment, where
it feels like tumbleweed quite often, can't it? You can just feel like you're talking to yourself.
Yeah, and it's like you put so much heart and time and effort into doing something, and then it gets no response to it, and it's just a little bit upsetting, isn't it? So
yeah.
I wasn't really getting any traction. I was really wanting to grow my following and grow a community behind it myself, and it just wasn't happening. So I kind of got to the point where I was like, well, I'm just going to have to stop doing this. I'm putting so much time and effort in, and I'm getting nothing. Let's park it. And I had been using Pinterest personally for a while, and you know what it's like, you go on there, and I was pinning recipes for like putting ideas on there for my girls' birthday parties and stuff. But I never really connected the dots and thought I could use it for business. But I'd started to see other people talking about it in the online industry, and I was just like, oh, that's interesting. And I didn't really know much about it. And at the time I started, it wasn't really that big. There was maybe 1 or 2 people talking about it. So I just started to experiment and done it on my account. I switched to a business account. I rejigged my boards, made them less personal to me, and made them more targeted to what people would want from my business. And I built it from there really, and completely transformed my business, because as I say, I was going from nothing, and just suddenly I was starting to get a flurry of people on my website. I was getting people reading, I was getting people commenting, I was getting people getting in touch with me.
Wow. So how quickly did you see that kind of change? How long did it kind of take you before you thought this is working?
Yeah, I mean, it took me a while because I was kind of starting right from scratch, because I didn't really understand it at all. So I was researching with a lot of people. So it probably took me a good, I would say, 3 or 4 months to understand how to do it.
Yeah.
And then from there, once I started putting a solid strategy in place, it probably took about another 3 months after that.
Right. So basically, what I think I'm hearing then is, if we were picking, as I'm picking your brain today, if I could take everything out of your brain and all your knowledge, which hopefully we'll get in a lot of in the Power Up with Pinterest class, then actually within 3 months you could actually potentially start to make a real difference using Pinterest.
Yeah, definitely. And I always say that to people, because whenever I think some people have got an impression that they can put something on Pinterest and it'll just suddenly explode, where it's not the case. You do have to put some work behind it. You do need to build your account. You need to get a following on your account on Pinterest. before you start seeing it trickling through to your website.
Yeah.
And obviously it varies account to account and business to business, but you do have to have consistency and work towards it. So it's not a case of within a week it'll be completely
No, yeah, sadly there is no magic answer like that, is there? Nothing happens overnight like that.
Exactly.
Oh, fantastic. So have you got, in fact, I know you've got this because I asked you in advance to do this, but can you share your 4 tips that you've kind of got together for us to get us started? Because I think that's what today is all about. Is it's brilliant to know that it really, really can work and does work. And it's made, I mean, even if you say over it 0 to 40,000 visitors in 2 years, that in itself is amazing, because obviously it's built up over that time. Yes, come on, hit us with some tips. Get us started.
So I would say my first 2 are connected.
Okay.
Basically because I think a lot of people do see Pinterest as a social media site. It is in a way, because it's like social sharing and things like that, but primarily it is a search engine, so very much like Google, and that's how people treat it as well. You've got to understand how people use it.
Yeah.
And people, I think
the trouble is, though, we don't put it into, I certainly don't put it into the same box as Google. I don't actually put it into, I know it's like a visual search engine, and I know it should, but it kind of somehow seems to have fitted into that social media box.
kind of put it in between.
It's almost in the middle, isn't it? It's almost an overlap, which kind of makes it a bit different for how you use it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's definitely in its own little bucket, and it's got connections to both sides, really. So that's why I suppose the 4 tips I'm going to give you now will kind of show you how they're linked to both sides. But the first 2 are linked to the search engine side of it. And that is because ultimately, if you're putting something on Google, how do you get found on Google? It's down to keywords, isn't it? People search for things in Google in that search bar, and if your website or web page has got those connections, the SEO, the keyword relations to what they have searched for, it will pop up. Very similar to Pinterest, but the difference between Google and Pinterest is the visual side of it. So instead of words coming up with Google and you've got to read them, pictures will come up with Google.
Yes. So you're almost, people will do the search in the search box, but then it's pulling up those images. So the images are what's actually doing you've got to know what people are going to look for the type of images they want, and then have a powerful image.
Yeah, exactly.
To actually get them to click on yours and notice yours.
Definitely, and that's the biggest difference between Google. So you need to make sure, the first tip is make sure that you are super up on your keywords for your business, for your industry, for your niche. And particularly the piece of content that you're sharing. So that's number 1. The second one is pin design. You need to make sure that you have got a design of pin that captures people's attention. Because when you look at, if you pull up Pinterest on your phone or on your computer and you just search something, thousands and thousands of pins come up. You need to make sure that you stand out in that crowd visually, because they always say that a picture paints 1,000 words, doesn't it? You've got to make sure that that image relates to what you're trying to say and it captures people's eyes. So the design is really important.
Okay, so kind of it goes back to one of the messages that I'm always banging on about, which is you've got to know who your ideal customer is. You've got to know who it is that you're trying to attract, so you really know those keywords and you really can pick out and the designs. But I suppose the beauty with Pinterest is that there's no limit to what you can put up with Facebook and Instagram and stuff. You really don't want to be flooding every single day, do you? You don't want to kind of be putting 5 or 6 images up that kind of all have the same kind of message, but in a different way with slightly different wording in the post. But you could actually do that with Pinterest and test it and try it and see which ones work the best and do more of that.
Yeah, definitely, because typically if I've done a blog post, I will do maybe 5 or 6 different images for that over a period of a couple of weeks, just to test to see what works. And then typically you'll find what kind of style works for that particular piece of information, and then you really push that one further. So you can just experiment. You don't need to worry too much about being spammy. obviously there's a way of doing it on your account, so when someone lands on your account, they don't see 50 pins of the exactly the same thing.
Is that the type of thing you're going to share with us in the live class? Please say that you are.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
You don't want that, because then you just look at that account and you think, well, they're just sharing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So there is ways of doing it, but you don't need to worry about being spammy. You don't need to worry about sharing a piece of information consistently, because that's my third tip. You need to be consistent on Pinterest.
Yeah.
You can't.
What do you mean by consistent? Because I know how I have all good intentions with Pinterest. It's one of those things that's really high up my to-do list, except from a consistency point of view. I have intentions of going like 5 or 6 images per blog. I know I should do it, but actually I tend to do one and pop it up and then not do any more. Yeah. For me, the beauty of Pinterest is that it's got long-term value. I know that I've got pins that I've put on. I've been running a handcrafted business since 2013, and I've got pins on Pinterest that go all the way back to then that are still working for me. And you see, and I look at them and go, how is that still doing that? And I can still see traffic when you look at my analytics and things. And I go, oh, you should be making more, but I don't. So I'm really glad that you're coming doing a live class, because I want to nail this. But when you say consistency, do you need to be using Pinterest daily, weekly, monthly? Is there an ideal time frame?
Yeah, definitely. I would say daily, and that scares a lot of people. But I don't mean being active in Pinterest every day.
Yeah.
There are schedulers, so you can use schedulers. So I would just make sure that you're pinning content every day, but you don't need to go into it every day. Like literally what I do for my account is I go into my account once a week, and I'll spend about half an hour, 45 minutes, if that, and my content's done for the whole week.
Wow.
And you just need to make sure that you're constantly having a presence on Pinterest, whether it's you doing it or a scheduler doing it. It doesn't really make much difference.
Okay, that's good to know.
And because with Pinterest, you can't just pin something and expect it to suddenly travel. You need to make sure that you pin a piece of content, you do experiments with it, you repin it in maybe a week's time, you show up in different places with it, but we'll go on into all of that.
Yeah. Do you know, I'm really excited to get stuck into this. Well, it's 17th, so yeah, a couple of weeks, isn't it? Must be about a couple of weeks. I'm excited. So go on, dive into tip number 4. Tip number 4,
yes. So tip number 4 is linked again to the consistency, but it is more related to the type of content that you share. Don't just share your own content, share other people's. It's a way of growing your account. It is a way of finding your account. It's a way of sharing relevant information as well, because I think some people get worried about, oh, well, I might be sharing some of my competitors' stuff. It's not necessarily like that. It's not seen like that. So on Pinterest, you'll go and you'll group your boards together. You're sharing useful information for your ideal client, whether it comes from you or it comes from somebody else. And there's a way, again, of separating it, which we can go into in the class. But you just need to make sure that in order to grow your account and get the traction on your account, that you're sharing a mix of your content, your independent content, and also other people's content that is relevant to your ideal client. You don't want to just share anything that confuses people, because like, hang on a second, she's doing a crafting business, but she's got loads of pictures of puppies. If it is part of your ideal client, it might be related to your end product. If you do something with animals, that might be fine. But if it's completely unrelated, then I wouldn't keep that as a private board for yourself, rather than sharing it.
Or maybe even have your personal, which is for you, and have your business, which is for your audience.
Yeah. And again, we can go into that about the best way to approach that, depending on how you start. I'm
resisting asking you so many questions right now. I'm having to, because I know, well, we've nearly done our time. So this was only meant to be a 10-15 minute chat, and already I can see that we've been on for over 25 minutes. So I'm going to draw this to a close. But what I think I think you've given so much information. I mean, there's so much I can take for this that you've already inspired me with. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about, actually having an hour with you where we actually dig in really deeply. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Hayley.
No problem. It's been my pleasure, and I look forward to it. As I say, I could probably talk for days on Pinterest. So I'll try and tame myself and give you the most basic of information to get you started and get you moving. I could talk for weeks.
That's me and marketing and whatever. I'm just fascinated by it all. So yes, I could. So it's very strange because with Pinterest, I fully know the value of it. I understand, and there's parts of me that knows how everything that you've said there. I'm nodding along, going, yes, I know that, and I know that. But actually, then putting it into practice and doing it consistently, that's my particular weakness. So yeah, I'm really excited to dig in and actually get this sussed for me as well as for anybody else who comes and joins the class. So anyway, I'm going to round up. Can you tell I'm excited? I've gone from forgetting my words earlier and being all of a fluster to being, yes, tell me more. Right. 17th, we will be back. So if you want to join this class, if you want to use the power of Pinterest to build your business, see, Hayley's gone from 0 visitors to 40,000 just from Pinterest, or 98% of those from Pinterest. It really is possible. And I know that as handcrafted businesses, as creatives, as crafters, as makers, you have the most amazing wealth of your products. Just create amazing images, that the ability is there to get it out there. So yeah, this is a perfect class. I really look forward to seeing all the club members there. Speak to you soon.